Welcome to Let's Build a CRM. In this webinar, I'm going to build a basic customer relation management tool. Yeah, maybe I say something about me shortly. I worked over 10 years as a UI UX designer. I started with Ninox 3 years ago, and I'm currently workflow consultant and Ninox developer at Q23 Consulting. We are a consulting company that helps customers or companies to digitalize their workflows if it's needed, and we use Ninox for that. So schedule. What can you expect from this webinar? We are going to focus on building, and if we still have some time, we can go and switch into coding. But right now we're going to focus on the basics, and we're going to start with creating tables, then add the fields, and then do the relations. So even if we just finish with the basics, we still have a CRM that you already can use and build on. So if we have, in case we still have time, we will do, we will look into conditions, we will add some scripts maybe, and look at automations. If we can't do all this stuff, we hopefully have future webinars where you can continue with this database or this project. So the course structure.
So before you start with the course structure, just another thing. If you have ideas or something that you want to see implemented, just let us know in the chat. We will be noting all the requests in a separate Ninox database, so we can then, if we have another webinar, look at them again and show you how to do basically the stuff that you want to see done.
Exactly. Feel free to comment.
Okay.
On any channel you're watching. We will gather everything, put it together, and then we might have enough stuff or requests to do more webinars where we implement those requests. Okay, let's see the course structure. Course structure will be, you will be able to add companies, you will be able to add contacts, team members, projects, tasks, and notifications. Additional modules, in case we have time, would be like we could add leads or field service management, orders and billing would be nice modules to have in a CRM, products, a dashboard, customer support. So yeah, in case we have time, if not, we can go into this in next time. Deep dives. So deep dives, possible deep dives into the course structure would be process management, project visualization. Some companies have more complex structures than what we will build now. Notification channels like Slack or email or SMS, everything is possible. Another deep dive would be newsletter sync, synchronization, or we build more complex task management systems inside our CRM. Yeah, feel free to contact us if you have any further questions or want to discuss your project. But now let's build. So I'm gonna switch to Ninox. I hope you all see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna start with with a blank database. So it's new, and we call it Ninox CRM. All right. So this is a blank database, as you can see, and we are going to create the tables first. I think this is very good for you guys. If you, let me check. Okay. If you never looked up at Ninox, you can see already a basic structure. So table names companies, we'll give it an icon right away. And we will create the next table, which is contacts. I give the tables a icon right away, so it looks much better. It's not that much work, but it improves the look of your database. We're going to add the fields in the next step, so don't worry. I just want to give you the structure up front. So the tasks, now we create a team member. Team member should talk to each other. That's why the icon. Notifications, always important. And yeah, that's it. I think that's our core structure. Let's look up what we have here. Yeah. All right. So, Niels, do we have any comments?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, so far, so good.
All right. All right. So now that we have our table structure, we can start adding the fields that are important to add companies. So maybe we start with the company name, and maybe also very important is the company size. So what I'm doing now is creating fields from the Ninox interface, and you have multiple fields you can add. I just created a text field for the company name and a choice field for the company size. So in case you want to build yourself, you have on top right, you have this build mode, which you can switch on and off. So, and if you have the build mode on, you can tap onto a field and edit the values. So in this case, I want to add company size values, which would be, let's say, from 1 to 10. From, let me see on my cheat sheet. In case you're asking why I'm looking on the right side, I have my other screen trying to, in case I want to look something up. 11 to 50, 51 to 100, maybe 101 to 250, 250 to 1,000. Oops. Consistent, and over 1,000. Yeah, that's a huge company already. So now I can choose, as soon as I hit save changes, I can choose the company size, right? So 1 to 10, 1 to 50. All right, what else? You wanna like what we might wanna add also is a rating. Rating, and for rating, I have a quick hack. So you can use emojis inside the choice field. That's a nice trick. So if we add a star, can copy the star, and for the rating, we will use a star system. So 3 stars, 2 star, 1 star for very interesting, and not that interesting. Okay, so what else? Maybe interesting is also to add a logo. So I will add an image field. And as you can see, I can drag around the fields in the build mode. So you can do a bit of layout. We won't go that much into layout right now because it's more important to have like all the fields, all the core structure. So I can rename the field, say it's a logo. Okay, great. So now we have that we have our company fields, and maybe add one company. Let's see, I've saved already some logos. Okay. These are invented companies, Consop, and it's a mid-sized company and it's interesting. So, okay, we can add another company, maybe quickly, like this one, the Lega. Sounds like a bigger company. Bigger is better, so 3 stars rating. And now that we have 2 companies, I want to look them up in a list. And as you can see, there's nothing to see right now. And if I wanna, I can add columns here on list view, show column. And as you can see, I can add all the fields that we just created. So I can add the company name as a column, company size, and maybe the rating, even the logo is visible. I can also drag the columns, and yeah, now we have a list, and as soon as I click, it pops up. So next up, every company needs contacts. So if I don't have, I need someone that I can call. So what we will do now is create contacts. All right, it's also empty right now. We will start with simple structure, first name. Oops, GitHub is opening. Then another field, last name. And yeah, what else? Oh, salutation. Here. And we have Mrs. I think in English you have also Miss. In German it's just Herr und Frau. Mr., Mrs., Miss. Okay, nice. So let's add a person. I have this cool page called UI Faces. And I grab just like Wade Morris. Hi, Morris. Wade Morris. All right. And now we have this person, and we want to we want to link this person to a company. All right. So we will create a link to relation to companies. And as you can see, I will rename it to company. As you can see, it gives me here a search icon and an add icon. So I can search through the existing companies that we just added. What is basically happening here is that you can look at the data model. We connected contacts to companies, all right? So now if we go to a company, we can see the backlink contacts, all right? And in Delega, we have Mr. Wade Morris that is connected to this company. So yeah.
Maybe to interrupt a sec, we have a comment in the chat from Eric. She's asking, what do I do if I import my data from the Mac contacts? In the Mac contacts, the companies and persons are in a data set. And if you disconnect the import, do you still have the connection between the person and the company?
Okay, so it's so to understand it right, you have contacts on your phone. Okay, it's here.
Yeah, it's in the.
Let me look up. What do I do with the import from the Mac contacts? I actually don't really understand how you like import. How do you import data from the Mac? Do you do it with a CSV or am I missing something? So you can import data, definitely. Yes, CSV. Okay. All right. Yeah, you can import data into a blank data, like a blank Ninox database. If you have company contacts, or you do it with import data, and you have you can import it as CSV. But that's a topic, a huge topic. We do that often for customers for clients that have an old database and want to switch to Ninox. We have a lot of these issues importing data from other systems, and it's a huge topic that we should have in another webinar.
Yeah. I would note this in the in our requests, so we can look over it in another webinar.
All right.
Also, the recording, we will look into putting the webinar recordings on the Ninox YouTube channel. It's the YouTube channel is Ninox Database.
All right. I will proceed. So contacts list is still empty, but we have the fields. So I will add those columns, those fields as columns. So it's not that empty. And now we also can show in the contacts list, we can show to which companies they belong. And if I click here, if you see an arrow, it's a link. And if you click on the link in a column view, you will get all the fields from the company. So you can access through this linking, you can access also to the data set of other tables. So I will add company name and maybe also, let's see, company size, because it's important if I look up which companies, which contacts I have, to whom they belong, to whom they are connected. All right. So maybe next up is projects. Let me see. Let's open projects, do the same stuff. We add fields that we need. Maybe project name is important for the beginning. And date, like a date from, and date 2. So we have a time frame, and of course it's important to also link a company, because I don't want to do the project just for my own. I will always have a link to a company, right? So we do the same link that we did for the contacts. We have the same list here. Now I want to do project 1, date from today until end of the week. It's a very short project. There's a question. Thank you. Do you have a link? Oh, okay, that's an old one. All right. So now that we have a project connected to a company, we still want to know who in my team will be responsible for that, right? So there should be a project owner. So now it's time to add a team member. And for a team member, I will do kind of the same like for the contacts. I will give it a first name, a last name, and maybe a department in our team. Department. Okay.
To interrupt for a second, just for everyone who's in the panel, if you send messages, make sure to send messages to all panelists and viewers, or in German, alle Diskussionsteilnehmer und Zuschauer, so that the viewers can also see the messages you put into the chat.
Okay. While Niels was doing some management stuff, I started to add some values to our department field. Marketing is also important, and maybe sales. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to extend those fields and to customize them, right? Yeah, all right. So let's add someone in our team. I've prepared already a team member name. It's Joshua Wilson, and he's responsible for marketing. All right, so let's get back to the project, because we wanted to have a project owner. I will do a link to team member, save changes, and now we can select Joshua from the marketing team, who's now project owner. You can see that you can rename those links, make them fit to your needs inside each table. Okay. As I said, it doesn't look pretty cool right now from the interface, but user interface stuff is also like what we mostly do with clients is we build the basic structure without styling. And if they're happy, if the user flow is good, we start with the styling. All right, so what else needs a project? A project needs tasks, right? So you need to know what you will do inside the project. And so what we're going to do is now the tasks. We need a task name. We need a due date, right? We need to know when this task is done or should be done. We can now add a status to see what status the task has. Like, should it be open? Is it in process, or is it done? For those who know Jira, you can like add more values to your task management, but for now it's enough, I think. And what we still didn't do is like to look at those fields on the left side. It's quite important right now because I want to have a default value. Every time I create a task, I want to have an open status already, right? Every new task is open, so I wouldn't have to select open every time I create a task. All right, we can show those choice fields. We can show as combo box. Wow, that was a nice sound. Is that a cow somewhere?
It had some cow vibes.
Okay, as you can see on the right side, sorry?
I think there was the phone.
They found the cow.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to show this not as combo box and not as radio buttons. I want to show it as switch. I really like this view because you can see all the choices right away. And what we also didn't look into was those nice icons. Like everyone has its own logic after this, but I choose how I know it. Done as a checkbox, and you can give it also colors. So maybe open is gray, in process is yellow, and done is green, kind of a traffic light. System, all right. Now we have the status. We can choose status like task 1, and due date is tomorrow. And that's it for now. Now, we don't have a connection between project and task. So that's what I'm going to do right now is link to a project. Because this task needs to be linked to a project. And on the other side, on the project, we can see now that we can add tasks to our project. So let's choose from what we have already as task 1. We can see also the fields as columns in this linked table. And from the project view, we can also add new tasks. Task 3, due date is on Friday. It's open. All right. So the project owner, Joshua Wilson, he wants those tasks to be done. So we will have to add a team, like we will need to define who's responsible for this task, right? So let's link the team members also to the tasks. So this, let's call it task owner, right? Now we can choose Joshua, but as Joshua is already in charge for the whole project, we will add some more people to the team. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have prepared Edith König. Ah, right. Maybe the sister of Alex König. Who knows? She's responsible for marketing. And now she is also already, like I created the team member from this view here. That's normally not the case. Normally you have your, like the team members in a list already. Selected, let me add also here the columns quickly. And we should add some more team members. I have here Alex Lee, also marketing, and maybe someone from sales, Felipe Grace. All right, I think that's enough for now. Let's go back to the project. So we want to like we want to see in our project view, we want to see all the tasks and also who's responsible for the task. So like in the list view here, you can also tap here on the column header and add show column, and then dive through the links into the first name, for example. And as we can see, we have like our tasks, and they're not linked to any person. We will now add Judith for task 1 and maybe Alex for task 3. I don't know where task 2 is. It's gone. Okay. This one should be task 2. Let's go back to the project, task 2, and maybe a third one, task 3 by next week. And we can choose from the team. Who else do we have? I think Alex. Right. No, we had him already. Let's do, yeah, Felipe. He's also part of the project. Okay, so now we have the base structure for a project. And as soon as edit is done with her task, she switches the status, and you can see it also here in real time. Right?
Maybe you could, also for the people who join a little bit later, show like a broad overview of all the tables real quick. Now that we're at the halfway point of the stream, just to like get a broad feeling.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so far we created companies. Like, first of all, maybe look up our cheat sheet. The core structure of our CRM is companies, contacts, team member, projects, tasks, and notifications. So far, we created companies, and you can see them in the list here. And as soon as you click on them, they pop up. You can see we added fields, like you have a huge selection of fields you can add. We added text field for company name. We added a choice for company size. We added also a choice for rating. Like you can choose between ratings here, company size. You can add, you can add contacts. So how does that work? We have a second table for contacts, right? We have only one here, but we could add another one. Like, this is Diana Smiley, funny name. And we can tell, we can link Diana to one of those companies we created, right? So if you go back to Consop company, you can see Diana as a contact here. Okay, so of course, most of the companies also have like departments and different locations and addresses. But as I said before, we can have like additional modules or also deep dives. And this would be one of the deep dives, like add more complex company structures, departments, locations, different addresses, contact, like telephone numbers. We skip all that, so you get an overview over a core CRM, right? The third table we discussed was projects. So same here, we added project name is a text field, date from is a date field. So as soon as you click on a date field, you have this cool date picker. Date from, date to. So we have like a time frame for the project. We linked the company. So if you look up and added the field, a link field, which is this one below. Like here, I can link any table I created. And as soon as you look up, you can see also the reference from projects to companies. So now, as we go to the company, we can see which projects we do with them, right? And also important for the project was the project owner. We linked to a team member. So we also have a team member list. And we added a department to know for what they are responsible. So yeah, that was the project owner. And we were now doing the tasks. Like every project needs tasks, and we have like set up the tasks. We set them up here in an extra table and connected them to a project, like linked them. So if we go back to the project, we can now add tasks to a project. Maybe like I saw here that we have a quite empty list view. You can add columns to this list view, and you can show
There's
up
79 people on the webinar right now. It's not bad.
Pardon me? What was that?
I think it was Morris, but I guess he was
Morris was yelling something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool, very good. If you have anything to say, just yell it. Okay, so now you saw that I can show columns here on the right side, and if we want to show like data from connected or linked tables like project, we can dive into them and also show in this task list, we can show to which project each task belongs. So we have now a task list, and we can even like group those tasks into projects. If we would have like, we can add another project. Maybe that's missing here too. Show the columns, show project name, show date from, show date to, and maybe the company name. So let's add a second project, project 2, due date from tomorrow to next Friday. Company is the other one, the Lega. Project owner this time is Alex. And we will add some tasks, like task 1, due date the 1st. And as you can see, the status is always on open because I set up the default value here, right? Task 2, due date Friday. Task owner is missing, edit, should do it here too. I think we give everything to edit. She's a hard worker. And now when we go back to tasks, you can see the grouped tasks, which we can unfold by clicking the group. So that's a cool view. We can go deeper into other views, like for example, Kanban, maybe later, but this is definitely possible, right? Okay, remove view. Now, to continue, maybe we are still, yeah.
For a second, we have a comment to show the data structure model for a second to verify to the people who are building it themselves simultaneously.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, we in case you want to look it up, we can always invite you to the project, right?
Just let us know. Just write your email address, and we
will invite you. I think Niels, you can invite people, right?
I think I should be able to. Yes.
Okay, nice.
Another thing on Facebook, Jürgen asked about NM table connections.
Yeah, NM table connections. Like, okay, wow, it's snowing. And table connections.
We can maybe also
yeah, put it on a list and then
exactly.
we continue.
Exactly. We'll note that request and we'll talk about it in a more advanced webinar.
Yeah. Okay, so let's continue with our last table, notifications, so that we have our core CRM notifications. So let's add some date and time, because we need also, like, we had date already, now we need date and time, because this notification, like, we want to give every task a notification, right? So we don't forget it. And all right, notification, and we can choose the type of notification. So this is what we did for some customers already, because they wanted to be reminded to their tasks. Like, we have the possibility of pop up something as soon as you start Ninox. We have email, so it could send an email. We have Slack. I want to show that maybe when we have time. I want to show how we can send notifications to Slack. So I do also the switch and default value. Oh, all right. Maybe I did something wrong. So let's delete the field again, because I don't want to choose between the one or the other. I want to have a multiple choice. So type of notification. And I add the pop-up email and Slack. All right, maybe some colors. Blue, red. All right. So because this is a multiple choice, I can choose all of them. I want to be reminded in 3 ways, right? And now that we have our notification, we want to link them to a task. All right. Also, we want to check if it was already sent. So we put a yes, no field, which is this one, yes, no. And we can choose show as checkbox, right? So if it's sent, don't send it again. All right, maybe I add the send to Slack button already. We will see if we have time to show that. Send to Slack. And this would be scripting also. All right. So now we can add a reminder for this task. Like, remind me tomorrow by Slack. All right. And as we don't have that much time, we won't show like all this automatically, but like manually with a button. But it's definitely possible to like implement this all automatically. So as soon as you create a notification, that should be sent on the 31st of March at around 3 p.m. This, like, Ninox will do that automatically, but we will have to script this, like to code this. I don't think we have time for that now. All right. Choice field. That was a comment. What field? Oh yeah, okay. All right. I think we have like the base we have already. It's very basic, like you saw, but it shows what we wanted to see. It shows the combination of tables, fields, and relations, right? Now maybe we could like do in the last 15 minutes, I could show you like a bit more advanced stuff, but just to show you that it's possible to do this. Like we will send a notification to Slack, to our Slack channel. I think that's very cool. So this is like, we're going into scripting now, which is advanced. Don't worry, like we can do all this stuff again and again. So you guys will learn how to script. It's pretty easy. Maybe Frank or Alex can talk more about the language. But I think it's a TypeScript, a very simple script language. Okay, so what I will do is like add a script to this button, right? We could like, just to show you how scripting works. If you add a script to a button like the alert, like right, you can trigger something. What we want to do now is add a code that sends. Hello, how are you doing?
I think it's on the phone. I muted.
Yeah. Okay, so we have like an arrow here. Tasks not found. Okay, I have to rename this. That should be good. Let's see. I've got my Slack channel open, I hope. Yes. And now let's see if our notification works. Let's put it the due date and give it a task. Well, let's do it the other way around. We are in a task and we want to notify Slack. All right. Here we go. This is the one we just sent. I think I have my notifications off. So, or do you see Slack, by the way?
We can see Slack, yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, where's Ninox? So again, right. So Slack comes, and as we have this technique now implemented, we can do a lot of other stuff to it, right? This is only manual, but we can trigger the script on different scenarios, like time connected. As soon as like a specific time passes, Ninox sends out this notification. It's definitely possible. Same for email and pop-up, right? And but also we could also implement this Slack feature into status. So we can, what you can in a choice field. Do you still hear me?
Yeah, but your mic changed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now it's, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, AirPods got out of battery at some point. All right, so you can add scripts like trigger, you can add triggers to fields. As soon as I change this, the value of the field, I can trigger an update, right? I think I could do it here too. Yeah, maybe not. So this would be for next time, a deep dive into those automations. But as you can see, it's working, and it's not that much as long as you have the script. Where can we find the copy of the example later? I think we will post, or we could like invite you, and you can download the project, the Ninox database, if you want to access all the scripts, or we can even send Dropbox link or something.
Yeah, we can look into linking a Dropbox on the VOD afterwards.
Okay, nice. We still have some time. I still have this. Yeah.
There's a question. Can you use other messages or messengers other than Slack?
Yeah, everything that has an API, right?
Yeah. Maybe you can just briefly tell the people what API is.
Okay, right. So API, I'm not the guy who writes those API scripts. So I'm not that programmer. I'm a low-code programmer. I'm not that API programmer. So this script is made by Jonas, one of our developer, and he could probably say much more to APIs, but the basics are that you connect two apps to each other and send or get informations, right? So here we have this post, which means that you post something to an authorized channel, like Slack, for example. All right, I hope that's enough. I'm using WhatsApp. Okay. Something different. Yeah, so API is a very big topic, right? And you can also use things like Zapier. Maybe you heard of it. Zapier is a tool where you can connect apps. I think you find Ninox here too. I could connect Ninox with something else like Slack, even Slack. And now you have Ninox and Slack. I think a lot of people are doing this, which is totally fine. But you have this trial stuff, and it also costs per, at one point it costs you per every time you hit the button, I think. And you can do a lot of API stuff you can do also with scripting. So if you need help with that, just like send us an email or send Ninox an email and we get in contact. We do a lot of APIs.
Yeah, if you want to be invited into the team, send me or Jakob your email address and we will invite you.
Right. Okay, 5 minutes left. Maybe a quick thing, because then we can look into our first advanced stuff, which is conditions, and it's very helpful. For that, I want to create a new table that's called leads, right? Everyone likes leads. And maybe I create the fields right away, because you can also create the fields like on the fly while you are creating a table. You can add the fields, and I wanna, yeah, right. So a lead should be connected to a company. I'm going to do this very quick now. Company, then a sales representative, like someone who's responsible for this lead, which is also a team member, representative, and maybe a deal size. Right. You want to know if it's worth it, deal size. All right. Now we have leads, and what I want to show you here is some kind of multiple states. So we will have like contacted as a state, And then proposal is a state, and payment. Like those are the three, could be three main things in a lead. And it's like one could be contacted, could be something like called, we call already, we send an email, the guy's not answering, or the lady, or in case we succeed with one stuff. Okay, I won't give it colors because we don't have that much time, but now we can choose like one answering called. Okay, and like proposal, we can give proposal some values: approved, negotiation, oh, hope I don't do any spelling, stuck, it's stuck, we can continue. Okay, and maybe also the payment, like working on it, or they paid. Okay, so now we can like choose a company, choose a sales representative, Felipe, he's from sales, a deal size, 200,000. Oh, by the way, this is a number field, and number fields can have a format, right? So a lot of formats, like percentage, dollar. We choose dollar because we're in English now. Okay, so now it looks like, yeah, you can type in whatever you want, and that shows the prefix dollar. Okay, what I want to show you now is conditional, because it makes no sense to add a state to the proposal approved negotiation if we didn't win the contact. So what we are going to do now, and I want to show you quickly how a choice field is really set up. It's like every choice has a number, which is important right now. We want to show this proposal only if the state 1 is selected. Okay, so we go into the field proposal, and now you can see this field display field only if. Now we can set a condition. Like now we choose the field from the left side, contacted is equal to, we can say text. Oh no, it's the other way around. Text of contacted should be 1. Right? Right. So we are in scripting already, but conditional scripting is a bit easier to understand because you don't trigger anything, right? And as you can see, my field proposal is gone. As soon as I click 1, it shows up, which makes sense because now it makes sense to add something here. And the same for payment, right? Like I go into display field only if, choose a text of proposal is equal to approved. Okay. And if we change proposal to negotiation, it doesn't show up. I think that's very helpful. And yeah, I think we are at the end.